Hey viewers, welcome to another game of Casual Pro Gamer. Today we're doing game number 3 between Jaedong playing as EG RC. Wow, I got it out for once. And as the Zerg in the top right, and Stardust as the Protoss in the bottom left. So game number 3 out of a best of 5. And spoiler alert! Anyway, it is 1-1. So still all to play for. It's basically a best of 3 now, except that they they did see each other's playstyle a little bit for today. So most of the time we will see the better play, obviously, from game 3 onwards, because in game 1 and 2 they will play standard. So standard setups, standard strategies, for the simple reason that if you tip your hand in the early games, so if you show people what you want to do or what your new strategy is or whatever, then you're kind of getting owned in the later games when people kind of adapt to that, and that is something obviously you don't want to have. So we do have the pretty standard setup here. It seems that we do have a pylon over here. We have workers being built, and that's the only thing that's being built for the moment. We have workers being built here, and we are going to see a fast expand here, and probably a fast expand from our Protoss player as well. So fast expand before the forge, which is perfectly okay. I mean, the maps nowadays are really big. There are only a few smaller maps, and even those are pretty big. So they're kind of the medium maps. And we will have to see if that actually comes into play. But for now, it means that we have lots of economy going on. Of course, the smaller maps are great for example, Zerg, because they can get an early spawning pool, get a queen, and then just rush with all of the Zerglings they can produce. And that is just an awesome new strategy that cannot be done on this map, because on this map, if you do that, you will get owned. Because the enemies, as you can see, can just wall off and can just be fine. But if you get an early spawning pool and just rush in with your Zerglings, that is way harder to do. You cannot really wall off against that. At least not this economical. You will be able to wall off, of course, but you will not be able to do it this economically. For the simple reason that this early nexus would be the forge and the gateway, and then you build the cannon behind it, and then you can build your nexus, because it's just too risky to do it otherwise. And well, the Zerg player, of course, is going to expand a third or second time for his third base, and we're not going to go into the Zergling speed for now. No extractors built yet. Okay, sure. I guess he doesn't want to lose the minerals yet. Obviously, you lose some of your income, your mineral income, if you're going to mine gas, because your workers, your drones in this case, can only do one of two things, and well, they can actually do one of several things, but they can either go for the minerals or for the gas, but they can also attack or do things like that. The Terran can repair with it, and they can of course move. So they can do one of multiple things, but they can only do one thing at a time. Anyhow, Stalker coming out, and we are going to be very safe in this base. Unless there is a very big amount of Zerglings coming up, but even then, we saw that in game 1. It doesn't have to mean that you're going to lose anything. So the probe actually gets away from the Zergling. Zerglings, of course, slow down the moment they attack. So if they attack, then they stop for about, half a second, and then they have to catch back up. So most of the times the probes will actually survive if they're being chased by one Zergling. So as you can see, the scout here coming in. It did scout that there is a base coming up, and it did, it did scout that there's a queen there. But for the rest, it doesn't know that he's only building drones, although he is probably expecting something like that. And therefore, we are going to go aggressive here with a Zealot and a Stalker, and we might actually get some things done. But, well, the Zerglings are pretty strong against the Stalker. And yeah, I've said it many times. The Stalkers are just very weak against Zerglings, but, well, in this case, the Zerglings are not really going to win out because the Stalker is fast enough to actually get past them. And so, yeah, he should have started the speed boost a little bit earlier. Speed boost would, of course, have been better here. And it would have allowed him to take down that first Stalker, and that can be very big. Because that first Stalker is actually going to be your only source of damage for the, well, for the early game. So sending in an Overlord here just to scout, to see what's going on, and he's going to see some pylons coming up and some gateways coming up. No, I don't know, he probably didn't see this, but yeah. Some 3 gateways, yeah, indeed. So, yeah, kind of the normal thing to do. So, what are we doing then? We have Nexus coming up and a pylon coming up. And we do have a contingent of Zerglings coming over here. It's going to lose about 2 to that mothership core. Well, lost only the 1 so far, but yeah, there goes the second one, and yeah, the other ones will be fine. He's going to try to stop this base from coming up, sees that there are too many, well, just sentries and such. And yeah, he is going to have to do something because he can't really allow the Protoss player to just do this. So the roaches come in, and the roaches are going to take down this army and then the base. The mothership core might actually, yeah, it's going to take out one of the roaches, but he's going to happily trade some roaches for this base. Obviously, it's not that easy because he might not actually get this base because there is an Immortal out. The Immortal is going to do very well against the roaches, and yeah, as you can see, the base comes up at about a quarter HP. I mean 1/6 HP. Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. So he is he's going to have to defend this base until the shields at least come back up because, well, it does have pretty nice shields. I mean, come on, everyone knows that. The Nexus shields are super huge. They're like 400 HP. And that is a big amount of HP to just get for free. So the Overseer here, seeing the Observer, and the Observer got shot at a little bit by, I'm assuming, the Queen or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't really have anything else that that could do that. And we are going with our enemy, or with our army around the base, seeing what's happening here at the watchtower, and going to come in from the other side. The mothership core is still the only thing that's defending. The Observer is coming out, it's flying out. And I don't know. It seems that the Protoss player does have an army as well. They both have an army in the enemy's base, and wow, look at the amount of Zerglings he just lost for no reason. He probably thought, if I just run past his army, it will all be better, but it really wasn't. So yeah, the Mutalisks are now out, and they are kind of trying to get something done. The Nexus almost went down, but he is going to finish that off now with those Mutalisks. Mutalisks are great at sniping bases, although they don't really do that much damage. But yeah, they're just great at sniping bases anyway. So as you can see, the Mutalisks are taking some damage from these Stalkers. They're also doing some damage to the probes. And the Stalkers are going to get taken out. And these last 3 Stalkers might actually die as well. New Stalker coming out. And yeah, just some Zealots. Those are not going to help against the Mutalisks. Yeah, flying unit, easy to take out. And the mothership, or sorry, Nexus cannon is going to take care of one of the Mutalisks. That was a little bit sloppy. A little bit of sloppy play here from Jaedong. He's not really up to his own his old standards. And are we going to be able to pick off the probes? No, not so much. So the Nexus is actually going to pick up a second Mutalisk. Really unnecessary damage. I guess he's just busy with this because that army that was in his base is still not done yet, and it just wiped out 3 of his bases. So this one is down, this one is down, and this one is down, and now it's going to wipe out his main and probably, well, this last base as well. Although it is pretty well defended, but he needs to get it done with just this army. I'm not sure if he can do it. The cannons are going to go down. And it might actually be just a base race. Might actually be just a plain base race. So income wise, of course, well, we have 0 income for our Zerg now. He has no bases, and really, yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyhow, the workers are all gone for both teams, and we are taking down a Nexus, even though that's highly unnecessary. Well, it is a base race at this point, so he doesn't really need to do anything else than just take down these bases and hope that he will be able to do it quicker than his enemy. And with all of these spine crawlers here, he would have actually had a chance if he had his army up here. But now with his Mutalisk spread out so much, he was not going to make this work. He was not going to do anything with that army. Only ground troops still remaining, so the Mutalisk might actually be able to just pick this off. Yeah, he's not going to, however. And yeah, if this building goes down, it is all over. Oh my god. This was actually a successful base race. So yeah, we could see the army on the minimap. It actually did quite well in that early part. I was following the Zerg army around, but here you can see it that it actually it took out these bases pretty efficiently. And even though there were only ground troops available, the Zerg player just not paying attention to his last building, or not able to defend that. And I don't think he would have been able to defend that anyway, but he only had 1 shot, only have 1 drone left to build something, and it really didn't work out. So yeah, this is from the Protoss perspective, of course. Protoss just going to town on these buildings and making sure that he can actually get it done. So these spine crawlers almost made it work, but they were just too weak. And then, of course, this happened. Yeah, he still needed to kill a whole lot, and then he needed to kill this entire army. So he was never going to win. When his extractor was found, and of course, if he could plot that down in a place where it wasn't going to be found, then yeah, it would have been a different story. But these guys are good, so keep that in mind. Obviously, hiding something on the map is really hard against these guys. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time on to game number 4. GG.